Monday morning, February 17th, 2003, Antwerp, Belgium. A security guard walks down to the vault 2 floors underground, same as every morning. But this morning, the 3-ton steel door was standing open. Behind it, the vault floor was covered in something glittering. Diamonds, gold, jewellery scattered across the ground, as if the thieves ran out of time to carry it all. 123 out of 160 safety deposit boxes empty. Over $100 million gone, no shot fired, no alarm raised, no door broken. Police stood in front of an impossible scene. The most fortified vault in Europe, opened as if its own owner had let the thieves in. This is the story of the heist of the century, and the one man who planned it for 18 months. To understand what happened, you first need to understand the place. Antwerp is no ordinary city. Over 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through its streets. Its diamond district covers barely 1 square kilometre, yet hundreds of millions in deals cross it every single day. And at the heart of that district stood the Antwerp Diamond Center, a real fortress. Cameras on every corner, guards around the clock, the district's own police station steps away. And below, 2 floors underground, are the vault. A 3-ton steel door with a combination lock holding 100 million possible codes. Open it the wrong way, and a magnetic field breaks, triggering the alarm instantly. Inside, a heat sensor that reads your body, a motion radar, a light sensor, and a seismic sensor that can feel drilling from a distance. 10 layers of security. Insurers described it in one word: unbreakable. But the problem with the word impossible is that it's an open invitation for someone to try. 18 months before that night, a well-dressed Italian man in his 50s walked into the building. His name, Leonardo Notarbartolo. He introduced himself as a diamond dealer from Turin and rented a small office in the same building. With that office came 2 things: round-the-clock building access and a safety deposit box inside the vault itself. He showed up every day, bought small stones, sold small stones, smiled at the guards, and learned their names. Within months, he was just another familiar face, no questions asked. No one knew that this friendly dealer had been stealing since he was 6 years old, and that for him, theft wasn't a job, it was a gift. And on every business visit to the vault, a hidden camera the size of a matchbox was recording, mapping the room centimetre by centimetre. In Turin, Italy, investigators knew of a loose network they called the School of Turin, Europe's elite thieves. Every job had its own crew. For this one, Notarbartolo chose 3 men, with skills no single person could hold alone. The genius, an alarm systems expert, a man who read sensors the way you're reading this screen. The monster, a giant with freakish physical strength, and an electrician and locksmith at the same time. And the king of keys, an old man said to be the greatest maker of duplicate keys alive. No one knows his real name, to this day. And with them, Speedy, Notarbartolo's old friend, a fast driver with weak nerves. Remember that. Most thieves rehearse on paper. The School of Turin built the vault instead. In a secret warehouse, the crew rebuilt the diamond vault, an exact replica based on the hidden camera footage. Same door, same boxes, same sensor positions. And they rehearsed in total darkness. Once, 10 times, 100 times, until every man could play his role with his eyes closed. Then came the smartest part of the whole plan. How do you beat 10 security layers in one night? Answer: you don't. You beat them before the night, one at a time. The heat and motion sensor? On a routine visit before the heist, the genius got close and sprayed it with something no one would ever suspect: women's hairspray. A thin, invisible film, blind to heat temporarily, no malfunction, no alarm, no trace. The door's magnetic field. Days before the heist, under cover of maintenance work, the two magnet plates were unscrewed and taped together on a single plate, so they could slide aside without ever breaking the field. And the lock with 100 million combinations! A tiny camera planted right above the door recorded the guard's hand dialing the numbers digit by digit. 10 security layers built by engineers for millions of dollars felt a hairspray, tape, and a camera the size of a matchbox. Saturday night, February 15th, 2003. A weekend and the building nearly empty. A car stops on a side street. 5 men slip in through a back garden, the one spot the cameras never covered. In a small room near the vault where the guard kept the door's master key, the King of Keys had already cut a duplicate, but they found the original just hanging there, so they simply took it. At the door, they slid the 2 taped-together magnet plates aside, and the field never broke. They dialed the numbers the camera had recorded. One last click, and the 3-ton door swung open in total silence. Inside the vault they moved in the dark, a foam block over the heat sensor, tape over the light sensor. Then they worked in total darkness, exactly as they had rehearsed 100 times in the replica. The deposit boxes were built to resist forced entry, but the monster had built his own tool, an arm clamped onto the box's face, ripping its lock out from inside. 1 box, almost every minute. 1 1050 123 boxes. Diamonds, gold, bullion, coins, bonds, bags filled until they could carry no more, and a fortune was left behind on the floor. Just before dawn, the men left the way they came. No alarm went off, no camera caught them, not one fingerprint left behind. It took the world a full day to even discover that anything had happened at all. There's an old rule in the world of crime. The perfect plan isn't beaten by a machine, it's beaten by a human being. The plan called for burning every piece of evidence in France, papers, tapes, leftover food, everything, so no trace of the story would remain. But in the getaway car, Speedy was falling apart. His nerves couldn't take 2 more hours on the road. He insisted we get rid of the evidence now, right here. So the car pulled over by a small patch of woods off the highway, and the bags went flying into the trees. 1 trash bag in an unremarkable forest in a foreign country. What are the odds anyone would even find it? And here enters a man who had never stolen a thing in his life, August Van Camp, a retired grocer in his 70s. Van Camp owned a plot of land right next to that same forest and hated exactly one thing with a passion: litter on his property. So much so he'd call the police over an empty potato chip bag. That week's morning, the old man found strange bags scattered among his trees. He tore them open, furious, determined to find out who had so little manners. And among the papers something glinted, envelopes printed with Antwerp Diamond Center. And on the radio that very morning there was only one story, the heist of the century. Van Camp called the police as always, but this time they arrived in minutes. In the bags, investigators found a treasure of a different kind. Italian purchase receipts, envelopes from the vault, a videotape, and half a salami sandwich with DNA on it. The DNA led to a name, Leonardo Notarbartolo, the friendly Italian dealer with the office in the very same building. His building access logs completed the picture. He'd been there that same weekend, at the exact time of the heist. Notarbartolo returned to Antwerp days later, confident nothing tied him to the case, and found the police waiting for him. He was sentenced to 10 years. The monster, the genius, and Speedy each got 5. As for the King of Keys, his name was never known, and he was never caught. He vanished as if he'd never existed at all. And the biggest question hung in the air: where are the diamonds? Police recovered almost nothing. Over $100 million simply vanished. This is where the story was supposed to end, but Notarbartolo wasn't finished. From prison, in 2009, he gave a famous interview that turned the whole case upside down. He said, "Yes, we robbed the vault, but we were just tools in a much bigger operation." By his own account, a diamond dealer from inside the district hired them and cleared their path, so other dealers could collect insurance money on diamonds already pulled from the boxes before the heist ever happened. He even claimed the real haul never exceeded $20 million, not $100 million. A heist within the heist. Insurers rejected the story, investigators doubted it, but no one could fully disprove it either. The diamonds never surfaced in any market, the money was never traced, and the King of Keys is still out there somewhere. A plan that took 18 months and beat 10 layers of security with hairspray, then fell apart over half a sandwich and an old man who hated litter. In the end, the heist of the century wasn't beaten by technology, it was beaten by human nature, one moment of panic stronger than a year and a half of perfection. As for the diamonds, more than 20 years later, no one knows where they are. Maybe they were melted down into the world's market stone by stone, or maybe they're still out there somewhere, waiting. If you made it this far, subscribe. Our next story is just as wild, and tell me in the comments, do you believe Nota Bartolo's version, or is the truth bigger than that?